Hi, I am getting ready to do a little video that focuses on joint health. It's not your typical Hatha yoga class, and it's pretty gentle but really effective. I learned some of these techniques, well, actually at a couple different ashrams, primarily at one in the Netherlands that was run by a really beautiful yoga teacher who specialized in tantric yoga, but she did one class on joint health, and her name was Marloes Vanderkamp. And if you ever get a chance, I recommend you go to her retreats in the Netherlands when we're able to travel again. And also some of this overlaps at an ashram that I went to near Charlottesville, Virginia, on Yogaville. Also a wonderful place if you ever want to retreat. It's in Virginia, and Yogaville is the actual name of the town. So anyway, let's start. So I'm going to invite you to lay down first, and then we'll eventually get up. It would be nice if you had a pillow for your eyes, like an eye pillow, not to lay down on, but an eye pillow. And if not, just a sweatshirt or something where you can put it over your eyes when you come into Shavasana at the end. And that's it. So you're not going to really see me. I'm going to try to talk you through this so you don't have to look up at this person in the video. So laying down in Shavasana, bring your feet and hands apart. Bring your feet the width of your mat, and bring your hands about a foot away from your body. So before we can start to let go of any of that tension, that habitual holding, we have to be still enough to recognize that it's there. So this is a great place right here to start to scan the body, starting with your facial muscles. In that place between the eyebrows, where sometimes we hold on to old anxieties, and start to smooth that crease out. In the place where the hairline and the forehead meets, you can start to smooth that space out too. And then start to smooth your scalp muscles all the way down to your ears, the muscles that hold the ears. And then visualize that you're slowly moving that attention down your jawline so that the jaw relaxes and maybe the lips slightly part. Just barely, but you're still breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And in through the nose and out through the nose. Now roll your head over to the right, and then roll your head over to the left. And then roll your head back over to the right and roll that left shoulder blade underneath you, propping up the heart. And then roll your head over to the left and prop your right chest open by rolling that right shoulder blade down and away from your right ear. And bringing your head back to neutral. Now we're going to do a little self-care here by massaging the facial muscles. So taking your palms, the fleshy part of your palms, just above your wrists and below the center of your palms, you're going to curve your fingers into your palms, and then bring your fleshy part of the palms up to your place above the eyebrows. So the pinky sides of the fingers start to come towards one another. Now put some pressure into that tender spot just above the eyebrows, one of your sinus points, and start to make circular motions. Doesn't matter which direction that the circular motions go, but a little bit of pressure there, and then start to go in the opposite direction. And now take this circular motion and a little bit of pressure to your temples. Reverse the circle. And then down underneath the eye sockets. And now taking your two peace fingers, and start to trace along the cheekbone and press the fingers in towards the nose. So there's some sinus points there that sometimes they get a little clogged or sensitive. Start to press in towards the nose and massage that area. And then come back to the fleshy part of your palms on either side of your chin, your cheekbones, and then your chin, and trace the chin, massage now anywhere where you feel it needs a little attention. And now let your arms fall to the side. You're going to grab your ears. This is the weird part. Start at the tops of the ears, at the top of the cartilage, and then start to trace down all the way to the outsides of the ears, and then back up, pinching that cartilage on the outer edge of the ears. And now take the middle of the ear and then pull it gently away. Might kind of waggle it a little bit. Arms are falling out to the side. And then take the earlobes, pull the earlobes down and back. Giving your ears a little love. Should feel good, right? When's the last time you gave some attention to your ears? And maybe make a little bit of circles. And then release. Now you're lying on your back once again, and you can bring your arms up above your chest. Your wrists are very loose here. The arms are kind of loose. And now hug your knees into your chest. And now the ankles and the feet are loose. So let go of your inhibitions here, because hopefully nobody's in the room with you, and even if they are, then that's okay, because they'll think this is hilarious. Maybe your dog or your cat's in the room with you, and they'll find it absolutely entertaining. So start to shake your hands back and forth like you're trying to get some water off of the hands, or maybe you touch something hot and you're really trying to make it feel better by wagging your hand back and forth. The wrists are completely loose here and dangling. And now up and down, wag your wrists up and down. And now you're going to join the feet and the legs in. So start to shake your ankles side to side, shake your wrists side to side. Your hands just go along for the ride. They're very loose. And now both the legs and the arms and the wrists and the feet going up and down. Shake now side to side. Shake up and down. And now shake side to side. Let those appendages just freely wag in the air. So when I teach this in a class, the first thing I notice is that people are really inhibited. They're just sort of like moving their hands back and forth. That's not the goal here. We want to be a little freewheeling, a little uninhibited. Last time, really shake everything. A little more. Shake your legs a little more, hands a little more. And then release. Let everything come back into Shavasana. Legs comfortably apart, feet falling to the side, arms alongside the body. Notice any difference, any tingling, any heat, any vibration. You're now starting to roll over onto your side into fetal, so bending your knees, rolling over onto your right side. And then you're going to come up into cat-cow, so bringing your hands and knees into the mat. And start to bring your hands underneath your shoulders, unless you have any sensitivity in the wrists. In that case, just walk your hands about a handprint in front of the shoulders, knees under the hips. And as you exhale, start to press into the tops of the feet, press into the shins, round the spine, tuck the chin, pull those shoulder blades apart. And as you inhale, pull the shoulders back, let the belly lower, shoulders come down the back, hips move up, chin moves up. Exhale, opposite direction, chin moves down, hips tuck underneath you. Inhale, look up, hips lift. Exhale, look underneath you. Chin tucks, hips tuck. One more time, inhaling, looking up. Nice breath in. One time, exhaling. Cat. And now I am going to stand on my knees, and I'll let this be a visual if you need it. I'm going to be on video here. But if you don't need it, just keep your eyes closed. So I'm standing on my knees. You can do this standing up too. And we're going to shake the wrists. This is how fast, when you are laying on the ground, that the hands should be moving. And this is how crazy they look. Okay, so you can do that a couple more moments. And then let the hands come alongside the body. And now start to do some shoulder rolls. So move the shoulders forward, up into the ears, back and down. Forward, up into the ears, back and down. And then in the opposite direction. So this is one variation of working on the shoulder joints. If you know that your shoulders are healthy and there's no pain, here's another variation. So start with your left hand, reach that left hand forward, up, back, down, left arm forward, up, back, down, making big circles. You're going to go a little faster. Feel it if you have any pain. And then you're going to go pretty fast. And now let that arm just release. And you're going to go the opposite direction. Move that left arm back, up, forward, down. Faster. And then release. And let's take that right side, move it forward, back like you're swimming. Down and up. Forward, back, down and up. Now, my right shoulder is a little more tender. It doesn't hurt, but I feel something going on in there, a little crunch. So I'm going to be a little more gentle with it. You may have your own sensations to deal with. And then in the opposite direction. Now, having said that, my arm actually feels a lot better after I loosen this shoulder joint up. And then release. Now you're going to start to move these hips side to side. Again, you can do this standing. I happen to be kneeling because it keeps me stationary. And as you just let those arms free flow, there's no muscular effort in the arms. They're just moving along for the ride. As you move the hips a little more intentionally, arms start to come around, give yourself a little massage. And then, because I'm not using my arm strength, as I stop to move the hips, the arms just eventually stop and then hang off the shoulders. Now coming to standing. We need to move into these hip joints a little bit. So start to move the hip to the left, back, right, forward, left, back, right, forward. Knees are loose, so not completely bent, but loose, so that you're using your hips to make circles. And then in the opposite direction, right, back, left, forward, right, back, left, forward. Making circles with the hips. And now coming into neutral. Now we're going to work from the knee down. So this works on this knee joint. Knee joint, so important for us to keep lubricated through movement. So we're going to start standing on the left leg. So if that left hip juts out, tuck it underneath you. You want to squeeze that left bum. You want a soft knee. Tuck the belly in about 2 fingers below the belly button, and then lift that right knee up. Now you can interlace your hands underneath that right thigh, or you can just start to wag the leg from the knee down, back and forth, and then in a circle. So if you have this right thigh, this just helps you stabilize that right thigh more, but as you can see, it's a little more challenging in balance. And in the opposite direction, these pink little booties my cousin made. Isn't that amazing how you can take yarn and make a slipper out of it? Thank you, Stephanie. And then in the opposite side, let your weight come into the right leg. Tuck that right tailbone underneath you. Squeeze that right bum. Soft right knee. Tuck on the tailbone. And start to wag that leg from the knee down from side to side. And then in a circle. This is great for the knee joint. Loosens it up. Keeps it lubricated. There's cartilage there that often starts to wear out in many people as they age. It doesn't mean you can't still be active. This keeps those tendons, ligaments that connect your leg nice and loose and strong, flexible. And then come back to standing. Now, if you were feeling balance challenge, you can hold yourself up with your left hand. We're going to get into this hip joint now. So lifting that right hip or right knee up. Start to make circles with that right knee. So envision that ball and socket joint in your hip. opposite direction. And again in the opposite direction. Come to standing. And tuck that right hip underneath you. Squeeze that right bum. This will keep you stable. Soft right knee. If you need to hold yourself up, find a chair. And just start to make circles with that ball and socket joint that makes up your hip joint. And the opposite direction. Once again in the opposite direction. Standing. Now taking your right hand out to the side, palm faces the floor. Take a deep breath in, and then let your left ear come to your left shoulder, and then as you exhale, lower that right hand down, taking as much time as the breath needs to come out. Make sure that right shoulder didn't sneak up to the ear. And then lift the head up. Take that left arm out to the side. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, head to the right. Notice if that right shoulder wants to sneak up, let it fall back down. Let that breath go as you lower left arm. And bring the head to neutral. Now start to lift your chin up. And then let the chin come into the throat. And come back down onto the floor now. If you're comfortable sitting in hero's pose, this is where you're sitting on your heels or your calves. Then you can try that option. If the knees aren't quite there yet, it's kind of nice to put a blanket or bolster or a pillow right underneath the sit bones. So you give your knees a little break. Letting your hands come onto your thighs, lift the chin up. Exhale, chin to the throat, feel it. Stretch in the back of the neck and the shoulders. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, chin into the throat. Staying here for just a minute, letting those knees, joints open up. So this is actually when I realized how good yoga was for my body. The whole reason I started practicing yoga 25 years ago was because I had bad knees. And after practicing yoga for about 6 months, I realized I had the strength in the muscles that supported the knees, and the knees no longer hurt. And that's why I continued, and of course discovered lots of other benefits. And teachers like Marlos and at Yogaville and other places, you just constantly continue to learn, and so it never ends. So coming back down onto your back. Come back into Shavasana. Now we've worked on all the joints. Bring your arms back out into the sides of your body, palms face up. Let the legs come out a foot or two away from the body. Away from each other. Roll your head over to the right, and then over to the left, bringing your shoulders one at a time away from the ears. And then allow yourself now to rest. You can bring that eye pillow over your ears, or you can bring a sleeve, piece of fabric over your eyes. Take some time to just be. So maybe you've been holed up for a while. Start to let go of any kind of fear. So the mind-body connection is such that when the mind experiences fear, the body responds. But the body doesn't know if that fear is based on anything real or a fantasy of the future. In reality, any thought of the future is strictly a fantasy. See if you can just bring your thoughts to the moment, to the present, and recognize that you're safe, you're nourished, you're loved. Maybe using this last couple moments as a little meditative moment where you just observe the breath. Once you bring your attention to the breath, which is always present, start to envision it moving up your path, up past your upper lip into the two nostrils, and out through the two nostrils over the upper lip. In through the nose and out through the nose. Letting go of any fantasy of the future and any attachment to the past. Just for now. Just for now. Breath should now start to elongate, slow down. When you're ready, bringing your awareness to the right thumb. Let that right thumb curl up along with the rest of the four fingers, releasing whatever it was you were holding on to. And now bringing your awareness to the left thumb. Let that left thumb curl on up along with the rest of the four fingers. Relaxing that left hand. Letting go. Now roll your head over to the right. And over to the left. Go over to the right one more time. Roll that left shoulder and left armpit underneath you. And over to the opposite side. Roll that right shoulder and right armpit underneath you. Start to bend your knees. Hug the knees into your chest. And let the knees fall over to the right. Arms out to a T. Stacking that left knee over the right. And then hugging the knees up and over your chest and over to the opposite side. Stacking right knee on top of the left. Maybe your head turns in the opposite direction. And then taking that right hand all the way over, coming into a fetal posture. And using as little muscular effort as possible, press yourself up into a seated posture. Just take a couple easy breaths here. And then start to eventually, gradually open your eyes. Bring your palms together and thank yourself. And I thank you. And if you'd like, I will post a link to Marlos's retreat center and the other one I mentioned in Yogaville in the description of this video. And hope you have a peaceful day. Thanks.